Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and these are my thoughts on Halloween, a hidden movement game from Trick or Treat Studios. Now, if you want to see a brief overview, you can click the link here or down below. And now we're going to see what happened the night he came home. Now, I normally like to start with the art component, but I'm going to set the stage a little bit instead this time. So, there's not a lot of horror games. Very, very few. There are an increasing amount of games that are coming out, like Escape from New York coming out, Halloween, Warriors. So, we're starting to get some of these cult 80s and 70s horror films as games, which is very cool. But there aren't really, in the scope of things, very many at all. Final Girls may be one of the more popular ones recently. When I first heard about this, I thought, they're taking the Spectrop system and they're using it for Michael Myers, and I was like, that is amazing. Now in Spectre Ops, it's kind of the reverse. You're infiltrating and all the other people are trying to get you, and this sort of flips that idea on its head, and the one person is the enemy. And I thought, man, that is a $1 million idea. I wish I had thought of it. What a great idea. Now, reading through the rule book, it was one of those rare times when I'm like reading through the rules and I'm thinking, oh my, I was just getting excited. And I was like, this is amazing. Now, I like Halloween. I'm a huge horror fan. I've got a lot, like dozens of friends that this is like, you know, their Bible. They love it. They're so over the moon about it. And it's hard to imagine, I know I'm just giving away my thoughts a little early, but it's hard to imagine a game that could possibly do it better for Halloween. And this is a love letter and an amazing, just the theme of it. Oh, it's so good. Well, let's go and take a look at the art and components first. Okay, so the art, I think, looks great. The art's on the cards and things, very evocative of the characters. Everything is colored in a way and contrasted in a way to make things easy to read. Component-wise, I wish that they had, I wish that maybe they had given you a screen to hide the Michael Myers board a little better, but I was using the box top, and that's the perfect size to do so. So not that big of a deal, but otherwise a really nice production. Now, I will also note that they do include, or rather give you an upgrade possibility. It's on pre-order right now, but you can buy miniatures for this game if you so desire. And they give you some extra stickers that you can put on the base so that you can tell the facing of the characters, which is kind of like, I just covered another game, Texas Chainsaw, from the same company. And the art is great on these standees, so it's a bit of a shame, but I always want to take the miniatures over the standees, the cardboard standees. Unfortunately, the standees do look really great. So now the theme is completely imbued in this game. You cannot separate it, but it really does come alive too in the cards. All the cards that you get and look through, like there are all these little movie moments. There's all these little things in there. If you're a big fan of the franchise of the film, this is going to be really, really one of the biggest parts where it shines, other than the idea of this like cat and mouse feeling that you're going to get as you play. Before I get too far away from the components and the art, I do want to mention too about the ease of play. A game like this generally is going to draw in non-gamers because they love the franchise and the IP. But I think that this game isn't necessarily, it's a little more complicated for non-gamers to get, but I think that like everything in the rules, it makes it much easier to cut down on the bandwidth. You think like, hey, Loomis and Sheriff Brackett, they don't show up till later. You can't pick them right away, and that makes sense for the story, for the gameplay. Boom, you don't have to learn that rule again because you'll remember. You can see out windows. You can't see through doors. You can move through both. You can't move through walls. You can't see through walls. It's just very intuitive. Everything in the rule system is intuitive. Michael Myers can go through the hedges. It's marked appropriately on his board. Like he's this major killer. He's going to do these things, which I think is very, very easy. And then you can see when you follow the line of sight for your character, which is very easy on the little arrow, and you can look right on the board, and you can see like things make sense. I can look out this window into the street, and then there's a car. I can't see by that. Whatever. So I think that a lot of the rule stuff. And that bandwidth is cut down by the fact that it's obvious what it's trying, that the mechanism is matching exactly the action that you're trying to take. Just to go back real fast and talk about the feeling a little more, the entire time you're playing this game, you're thinking, where is he? Where is he? I'm very nervous about moving around. And I think that's so cool. And then as the Michael Myers player, you're trying to sneak around and get around them and stuff. And it's very exciting. You're like, I can't wait to knife these people. It's just like so much fun on either side. And I think that's kind of a a little bit of a difference between some games in this genre. So just to make a quick aside, this genre for me, I find that like Fury of Dracula is a great example. And that's a stunning production. That's another love letter. Oh my God, it's amazing. Just the whole game in the box is incredible. But when you're playing Dracula in that game, the idea is you want to get away. You want to hide from the players that you're playing against. It's a one versus many as well. And the better you're doing at the game, the more bored you are. I don't care. Like I'm like, this is like hours, and I'm just a million miles away from them, and then you have to make the dumb choice. I used to make stupid choices just to try to make the game a little more lively. And this is the complete opposite of that, because you're going after the people, and they're trying to get away from you. And I think that that's really fascinating. And the cat and mouse that sets up is really great. For instance, if you're in a house, and this makes thematic sense, you try to be inside instead of outside. It's much harder to get to the people. And I think there's a number of things that this game does very, very well in its design space. It's very, very well designed. For instance, like, you only get 2 actions. And so climbing through a window is one if you're Michael Myers, and moving is one. And so if somebody is in the middle of the room, it's very hard to get the drop on them, because you have to move, and then you have to get in the window. And now you're sort of there, and they could attack you or run away quite easily. And I think that's a really cool thing. And the players, the victims, have 2 actions as well, and they are limited by that constraint as well. So both sides of this asymmetrical game are really don't have enough actions to do what they want to do, and so it makes it very easy, and if you do something stupid, and you just get outside, or you're alone in the room or whatever, being in a group helps. There's all these things that are like both thematically make sense and in the gameplay make sense. And then again, like the design of it, for instance, like the search tokens, it makes complete sense. If you search this area once, okay, flip the token over. Very easy to see, very easy to remember. Oh, we have one more time we can search that. Search it again, and you remove that token. Well, why? Because you now have searched. You've searched. The keys are definitely not here. Time to go someplace else. So thematically, it works. On the board, it works very well. Very easy to follow. And then also, like, as a design choice, it forces the victims to keep moving through the board. If you could just keep standing there and just search forever, you wouldn't move around very much, you wouldn't take as many actions, and it'd be hard for Michael to get you. And so there's like so many things that are like, it's just this perfect marriage of theme, design, and ease of play. So all those things working together with the components, with everything. I'm gushing now, but yes, very well done. There's a number of other things that are both thematically and interesting. Like, I like the idea, like, it's like, do you go all in on searching? That's one strategy. Do you go all in and say, you know what, we're going to kill Michael. We're just going to go out and we're going to kill him. We're not going to search for much. Well, you have to search for some weapons things, which is another thing. I like the fact that there's some of the cards are immediately useful. Some of the cards you need to find to link up. Like, you've got to find the matches to go to the whiskey bottle, the matches and the hairspray, or the bullets and the guns. I've seen this before in very few games, actually, that I can really remember seeing this kind of an idea. Like, Zombicide uses this quite a bit, where you have to find the Molotov cocktail and the fire or whatever torch. That kind of an idea. So I really think that's pretty cool. And that's not like a ton of paths to victory, but it's 2 different ways. And if you find, hey, we found something we needed, okay, well, maybe we switch to not trying to kill Michael. And then I also like the fact that you can hurt him. He can be hurt. In the movies and stuff, he gets injured, he gets knocked out for a minute, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, we should have kept an eye on him because he's gone. And I like the idea that you can stagger him. And then as the player, you got to be careful. If you're Michael Myers, you got to be careful, because if you get staggered, you're going to be less efficient. And that's really cool. So you got injured a little bit and you step back, but then at the end of your turn, you flip that back over. And if they can keep staggering you, they're going to keep you weak, which makes, again, thematic sense. And the idea that the card is there to flip and flip back makes it easy to remember, and decreases your bandwidth, and allows you more time to be paying attention to the game. And lastly, I'll say that one of the things I love about a game like this is the idea, like, oh, that's so much fun. Oh, I want to be Michael now. Or, oh, let me try to be the victim now. And, being able to switch those roles and be able to play both sides is super, super fun. I think it's very exciting, and that is what adds to the replayability. Now, each of the characters has their own powers. That's fine, but I think the greater joy is in flipping and being one of the other asymmetrical sides. So, going on quite a bit about this game, so I'll just say that, very, very well designed, very incredibly well integrated theme, very clever idea, fantastic production. This is a knockout of the park for me. That's Halloween, the game, hidden movement game from Trick or Treat Studios. If you would like to see a brief overview, you can click the link below. But otherwise, I gotta roll.